Hello and welcome to the Couples Marathon Weekend recording. Just giving you a little bit of information about what the Marathon Weekend is and how it will help you and what's involved and all the different aspects that will be involved in it. So my name is Natalie Turvey and I am the Director and Principal Psychologist here at Drop of Life Psychology Clinic, plus the author of Unbreakable Relationships for Self, Lovers and Others. I'm a Gottman leader and I have a certification process in levels 1, 2 and 3 plus affairs plus trauma. I do online programs and workshops and so very much more. So one of the things that you will get upon joining the marathon weekend is you will get a box full of all the resources that you will need after the weekend, and it will be designed for all the tools that we talked about. They will have handouts, explanations, cheat sheets, and some activities and games and so forth that you will take home to continue the work that you learn while you're here with me through the weekend. So why come, I get this all the time, why come to a marathon weekend? It's a lot of money and it's for 2 days only. Why do that instead of maybe 6 months of long-term therapy? So the research around why marathon weekends work is based on research that John Gottman himself have done in what they call the Love Lab in America, and it's the truth about happy marriages and what he's found out, and what he found that each couple needs to be doing in order to have a healthy, happy marriage. And this is 40 years of research that he's collated with over 3,000 couples. So it's a lot of work that he has done. It is very process driven, meaning there are to-dos, there are processes and things that you do, take home tangible things that you do in each of the situations that you might find arise. It's made from the systems and process that you find. It's very phonological in that in that we've noticed these cause and effects in relationships and how you can make them work differently and better. It's cognitive, meaning you're going to have to be doing some thinking and understanding what has been happening for you in your relationship, but it's also very emotional, and we work very much with the emotions and what gets triggered in you. So couples will gain a better understanding of each other and develop new skills and behaviours that foster more intimate relationships where conflict is managed in a functional manner. So what does make a marriage work? So due to this research, thank you very much, John Gottman, due to this research, we know this without a doubt. The things that make a marriage work is deep friendship, for a start. That sound house that you can see on the screen there, which is how you build love maps, shared fondness and admiration, how you catch each other's bids to connect. And if you're doing all that really well and you've got trust and commitment in your relationship, then you have this very positive perspective of your relationship. If something is amiss down below with trust or commitment, or how well you know each other, or how well you feel known, how well you share and do give admiration and have that fondness within your relationship, or how well or how unwell that you are able to catch each other's bids to connect. If something is missing there, then you have this negative perspective of your relationship. So one of the very first things that we do is we manage your conflict, because that is why you're typically coming to do intense therapy. And we then look at how you repair each other and what those secret weapons that we know work are, and how you can implement them immediately into your relationship. We look at, towards the end of the second day, we look at shared purpose and deeper meaning within that relationship after we've already figured out how to manage conflict better. So what are the predictors of divorce then, if we know what makes marriage work? One of the biggest things, one of the first signs that we see is that harsh startup when you're having a fight. The 4 horsemen, which we will talk about in your marathon weekend, which is contempt, it's defensiveness, it's criticism, and it's stonewalling, and how you can work with those and use the antidotes that I will give you. This will form an immediate change in your relationship when you start noticing those four horsemen. How quickly you get flooded, which means how quickly your stress hormones are secreted into the body and you overreact to situations, and how difficult it is for you to calm down after that. The fourth sign is your body language starts to tell a lot more information than your words do, and sometimes cause more damage that way. The fifth is failed repair attempts, meaning either you stop trying to repair, or when you do try to repair, it doesn't work well, and so you stop. Bad memories and rewriting of the past. We tend to remember the negative and we will reinvent that to make it worse sometimes than it actually was. So you can either do a 1-day marathon weekend or you can do a 2-day marathon weekend. The 1-day marathon weekend is appropriate for couples seeking preventative care. They've already got a solid relationship. They have some minor issues that they want to work out. And couples interested in premarital preparation are good for these 1-day marathon weekends. The 2-day marathon weekend is specifically a type of therapy that is short-term and intensive. So it is a big ask for you to come in for 2 whole days and talk about the things that you know you're going to fight about. Its purpose is to move the couple quickly through crisis and specific perpetual issues. It's not meant to be as an ongoing long-term commitment. The process consists of 2 consecutive days of intensive, structured, evidence-based couple therapy. So Gottman therapy, as I mentioned before, is the gold standard when it comes to successful couple recovery. It's a process orientated, which is what I talked about before. So it gives you time during this 2-day marathon weekend to process past injuries that have never really healed, and it gives you time to understand how these injuries have impacted on the relationship, and there is this beautiful time to heal and learn how to manage that. So there will be, regardless of what you do, there will be 3 phases typically to therapy. The first phase is really important because it's our assessment phase. It occurs over 4 sessions typically, and there'll be one which is a conjoined session, which is where we basically go over why you're here and what you want to do and what you want to achieve while you're here. I then get a really good look at your interaction and how the two of you do conflict and how you view your relationship through my initial assessment. And then you will have 1 hour each of an individual session where I will get all that wealth of knowledge around your background, your history, your family of origin, previous relationships, attachment styles, all that stuff, stress management, all that stuff. And you will be asked to also do psychometrics. I will send you out a questionnaire that you'll have to complete before the individual sessions, and we will go over that and sort of unpack any issues that I think may come up for you in our couple sessions. And then we will have a feedback session where I'll collate all that information that I've gathered over the past 3 or 4 sessions, and we will have a treatment plan set up, and you will agree to that treatment plan. You'll be very much involved in that. So phase 2 is obviously the treatment phase, which is when we do our weekend away, and we'll start to work on the problematic concerns that have come up in those couple of sessions earlier. And you will be addressing the issues and developing better skills. And then after we've done that weekend, we then move into your relapse prevention phase. So you've got the skills, you understand each other very well by this stage and the deeper meaning behind these fights. And so then you have what you call check-ins, which initially it'll be after 2 weeks, and then we sort of shift them out depending on how you're going. So One thing I do ask couples is, while you're doing this process, is that once you've made this decision to engage in marathon therapy, it's very important that you try to call a truce on any ongoing issues in your relationship for the time being, because you know that we will be discussing this during the marathon weekend, and so we'll be able to figure them out, address them, so you can kind of park them for a moment until you get in. And then we're going to look at how we do the conflict. That's the first thing that we do. And we're going to be really understanding some of your perpetual issues, how well you can compromise, how well you can repair, and give you the tools to do them if you haven't got them already. So there are actually two types of marital conflict. One is a perpetual issue and one is a solvable issue. And just to be clear, that the perpetual issues are probably 69% of the things that you fight about. And our concept around this is we're not going to fix these problems, we're just going to manage them a little bit differently, because these perpetual problems will be the ones you find lead to gridlock, lead to those fights that you cannot seem to get past, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels over and over again when you're doing them. So signs of gridlock will be you feel rejected, hurt and frustrated. You vilify each other. You make the other person out to be the bad person. And you become very polarized in your position on this fight. You don't even get close to thinking the same. And then you start to have this emotional disengagement from each other. So the causes of gridlock is because there is this underlying dream that aren't being addressed or respected for either of you or both of you or one of you. And you're helping each other realize the dream is one of the goals of our marriage weekend. So how well do the two of you turn towards each other instead of away? How well do the two of you catch your bids to connect for humour, for attention, for love? And we're going to teach you how to do that and how to notice those and what they actually look like. And it sets the stage for a quality relationship. And we want it to be something like 86% of relationships that do relationships well are catching each other's bids to connect, rather than 33% which end up in divorce later on. So let your partner influence you. Some people do not know how to do this after there's been so much conflict for so long. So we teach you how to break that down and how to let your partner influence you, because we know for a fact that this will lead to happier relationships. Make and receive repair attempts. I can't tell you how important it is to repair quickly. Repair quickly, repair quickly, repair quickly. We need to de-escalate and not avoid conflict, because that is impossible to think that you're not going to have conflict in a relationship. But we need to make repair attempts, and we need to accept repair attempts quickly. We're also going to teach you during your marathon weekend on how to compromise and how to do it well, so that you are able to respect and validate each other's positions and know aspects. You definitely need to know aspects you can and can't compromise on, and we will work through that. We're going to teach you shared meaning. This is sort of 4 pillars of moving forward. We want to set up things like rituals, roles, goals, and symbols of what relationships and love means to both of you. And you will get these little cards in your little box, in your toolbox. And we're going to teach you, which is, if you can take nothing away from this video, take this, that you know you do your 6 magic hours, which is when you part from each other, you know something about each other's world, so that when you reunite, you can seek that partner out and go, hey, how was your day? How was that thing we talked about earlier this morning? You'll be instantly connected. We're going to teach you how, and if you can try this in the meantime, how to give and receive appreciation and admiration. Affection. We need touch. Date night. It's essential. It's not just something nice to do. And the State of the Union meeting, which just means you take some time to talk about the things that are issues in your relationships. You know they're issues in your relationship, and you take some time, you make it a priority to talk about them and solve them, or compromise on them at the very least. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But that is basically what is covered in our marathon weekend. If you want to join in and if you want to sign up for one of the days, the dates are available already in advance. Ring admin and they'll be able to book you in. Look forward to seeing you soon. But in the meantime, remember to be kinder to yourself than anybody else can be.